Have you ever looked into your dog's eyes and wondered what lies behind that gaze? What wisdom, what cosmic understanding might live within that furry companion who shares your life? And in the darkest moments of grief, when their body lies still and the final breath has passed, have you felt a presence that defies explanation? A touch, a sound, a feeling that tells you they're not really gone? The threshold between life and death is not what we've been led to believe. It is not a wall but a door, not an ending but a transformation. And nowhere is this truth more evident than in what happens to our beloved dogs when they cross that mysterious boundary. Helena Blavatsky, like Edgar Cayce and other mystics who glimpsed beyond the veil, revealed something profound that science is only beginning to understand. Consciousness does not end. It expands. For dogs, creatures who live with hearts wide open, untainted by ego or fear of mortality, this expansion happens with a grace and ease that humans can only aspire to. What if I told you that in the moment your dog's body stilled, their awareness blossomed? That pain vanished instantly, replaced by a lightness beyond imagining. That they were met, welcomed, and guided by beings who already loved them deeply. This is not wishful thinking or mere comfort for the grieving. It is the consistent revelation of those who have accessed higher states of consciousness, the hidden architecture of existence that operates whether we believe in it or not. In the coming chapters, I'll take you on a journey through the first days of a dog's afterlife experience. You'll discover why their transition is gentler than a human's who comes to greet them, how healing occurs, and most importantly, how the connection between you remains vibrant and real. This is not just a story about death, it's a story about love that transcends physical boundaries, about consciousness that continues, about a bond that never breaks, even when the body does. If you're finding value in this exploration, please subscribe to the channel and leave your like because it truly helps me continue bringing content like this to you. The mysteries of existence are meant to be shared, and together we can illuminate what once seemed dark. To understand what happens to our dogs when they pass, we must first understand something fundamental about reality itself. Our material world, the one we touch, see, and measure, is merely the surface of existence, like the visible portion of an iceberg. Beneath and beyond lies an ocean of consciousness, of vibration, of living energy that most humans glimpse only in moments of profound intuition or spiritual awakening. Dogs, however, live with one paw in each world. They navigate the physical realm through their senses just as we do, but they never fully lose touch with the subtler dimensions. Have you ever noticed your dog staring intently at something you couldn't see, or barking at apparently empty space, or sensing a person's illness, emotion, or intention before any physical sign appeared? These aren't coincidences or behavioral quirks. They're glimpses of your dog's natural connection to a reality beyond the physical. Ancient wisdom traditions across cultures recognize this unique position animals hold. The Egyptians revered cats as guardians of the threshold between worlds. Native American traditions speak of animal spirits as messengers and guides. In Hindu cosmology, animals are souls on their own evolutionary journey through consciousness. And in the esoteric teachings that Helena Blavatsky helped bring to Western awareness, animals are understood as expressions of divine consciousness, evolving through experience just as humans are, but unburdened by the specific challenges of human ego and self-awareness. This cosmic context is crucial because it helps us understand why a dog's transition after death is uniquely gentle. Unlike humans, dogs don't fear death as an existential threat. They don't cling to identity, achievements, possessions, or beliefs. They don't resist the natural flow from one state of being to another. When the moment comes, they simply allow it to happen with the same trust they've shown throughout life. Imagine consciousness as water, taking the shape of whatever vessel contains it. In life, that vessel is the physical body with its brain, senses, and limitations. At death, that vessel dissolves, but the water, consciousness itself, remains intact. It simply flows into a new form, a subtler one, unbound by physical constraints. For dogs, this flowing happens with remarkable ease. They don't resist the current. They don't try to hold on to the previous container. They allow themselves to be carried forward into the next phase of existence. The first moments after a dog's physical death are not filled with confusion or fear. Rather, They're characterized by a profound sense of relief and expansion. The limitations of the aging or diseased body fall away. Pain vanishes. Senses that were dulled by physical decline suddenly sharpen beyond anything experienced in life. It's as if someone who had been seeing the world through a dirty, cracked window suddenly steps outside and experiences reality directly, in all its vivid fullness. And in these first moments, something remarkable happens. The dog realizes it can still feel you. The connection between you, forged through years of love, care, play, and companionship, doesn't break when the physical body does. It remains vibrant and real, a bridge between worlds that neither death nor physical separation can destroy. From which city in the United States are you watching this content, or from which country in the world is it reaching you? Leave your location in the comments below. I'm truly curious to know how far this message is traveling. The moment of transition for a dog is unlike anything we can fully comprehend from our human perspective. But mystics like Edgar Cayce and Helena Blavatsky have described it as a gentle awakening, similar to emerging from a deep sleep into a luminous morning, but with a clarity and vibrancy that exceeds our earthly experience. When the final breath leaves the physical body, your dog experiences something extraordinary, an instantaneous liberation. The consciousness that was filtered through a canine brain and body suddenly expands, unbound by physical limitations. It's as if they've been wearing a costume that both allowed them to experience the physical world and limited what they could perceive of it. Now that costume is removed, and they stand revealed in their true radiant essence. The initial sensation is one of profound lightness. Pain, whether from disease, injury, or the natural deterioration of aging, vanishes completely. A dog that might have struggled to stand in its final days suddenly experiences the freedom of boundless movement. A dog whose vision had clouded with age now perceives with perfect clarity. A dog whose hearing had faded now registers the subtle harmonies of existence itself. This expansion happens in waves. The first wave comes immediately, with the release from the physical body. In that moment, your dog realizes it is not limited to the form it inhabited. It is consciousness itself, temporarily clothed in form for the purpose of experience, now returned to a more primal state of awareness. But this is not a dissolution into nothingness or an abstract state. Your dog retains its unique essence, that special blend of qualities you knew and loved, the playfulness, the loyalty, the specific way they communicated with you, the preferences and habits that made them distinctly themselves. All of this remains intact. But now these qualities exist without limitation or constraint, like music freed from a single instrument to fill an entire concert hall. In the first moments after transition, most dogs experience a profound realization. They can perceive dimensions of reality that were always present but invisible to physical eyes. The world they inhabited with you is revealed as just one layer of a vastly more complex and beautiful creation. They see energy where once they saw only matter. They perceive thought as tangible as a physical object. They recognize patterns and connections that link all living beings in a web of consciousness. And here is where the first great truth reveals itself, one that will bring profound comfort to those who grieve. Your dog discovers that the connection between you transcends the physical. The love you shared was never merely a biological bond or a conditioned response. It was and remains a genuine connection between two conscious beings. Death cannot sever it. Physical separation cannot diminish it. In these first expansive moments, your dog experiences something akin to ecstatic joy, not just at their own freedom from limitation, but at the discovery that what mattered most in life, the love you shared, remains intact and vibrant. They can still feel you, and more remarkably, they can reach you. Have you ever felt an inexplicable presence in the days following your dog's passing? A weight on the bed where they used to sleep? The sound of nails clicking on hardwood floors? A warm pressure against your leg? These aren't hallucinations born of grief. They are moments of genuine connection. Your dog discovering its new freedom, returning to comfort you in the only way it knows how. If this resonates with your experience, please comment below with your thoughts and share this video. The veil between worlds is thinner than we've been led to believe, and your story might help others recognize the signs of continued connection with their own beloved companions. In the human imagination, Death often appears as a solitary journey, a lone soul facing the great unknown. But one of the most beautiful revelations about a dog's afterlife experience is that they are never, not for a single moment, alone. As your dog awakens to its expanded state, as the initial waves of relief and liberation wash through its consciousness, it becomes aware of presences surrounding it. These aren't abstract energies or impersonal forces. They are distinct beings, gathered specifically for this moment of transition, creating a welcoming committee tailored precisely to your dog's needs and connections. The first beings your dog typically recognizes are other animals who have crossed before them. If you've had other pets who passed while this one was still alive, they are there, vibrant and whole. The old dog who taught your puppy the rules of the house, the cat who shared sunny spots on the living room floor, even animals from your household who died before this dog ever joined your family. They recognize a soul that shared your love and come to welcome their kin. The reunion unfolds with a joy that transcends anything we witness in physical life. Imagine the most exuberant greeting you've ever seen between animals who love each other, then multiply it exponentially. There are no physical limitations to their expression now, no bodies that can be injured, no space that constrains movement, no sounds that can't be heard. It is pure, uninhibited connection. Beyond these familiar souls stand what mystics have described as animal guardians, evolved animal spirits who have reached a level of consciousness that allows them to serve as guides and mentors to newly transitioned souls. These beings radiate a calm wisdom and steady love. They understand exactly what your dog is experiencing, the initial disorientation, the concern for you left behind, the wonder at new perceptions. Without words, through direct transmission of feeling and understanding, they offer reassurance. All is well. You are home. We will show you the way. But perhaps most surprising are the human souls who come to welcome your dog. These aren't random spirits, but people who had special connections to animals during their physical lives. Some may be family members you've lost, grandparents who shared your love of animals, relatives who passed before you were born, but maintain connections to your lineage. Others are souls who dedicated their earthly lives to animal welfare and choose to continue that service in the afterlife. Your dog recognizes these human energies instantly, not as strangers, but as extended family, souls connected to you and therefore connected to them. The recognition transcends physical appearance or even prior meeting. It operates at the level of essence, where souls know each other beyond form. This welcome committee serves a profound purpose beyond mere greeting. They create a field of love and familiarity that helps your dog navigate the initial transition. They demonstrate through their presence that death is not an ending or a lonely journey into the void. It is a homecoming, a reunion, a return to a community of souls who have been waiting with joyful anticipation. Now we arrive at the turning point in our understanding, the revelation that changes everything. We thought we knew about separation, about death, about the nature of connection itself. The boundary between the physical and spiritual realms is not the impenetrable wall we've imagined. It is a permeable membrane, a translucent veil through which consciousness can pass in both directions. And in the days immediately following physical death, your dog exists in a unique position, neither fully anchored in the physical world nor completely transitioned to the spiritual dimensions. This intermediary state serves a profound purpose. It allows your dog time to adjust to its new reality while maintaining the connection with you that defined so much of its earthly life. It provides a gentle transition rather than an abrupt severing. And most importantly, it creates space for healing, not just for your dog, but for you as well. During this period, which typically lasts from 3 to 7 days in Earth time, though time operates differently in non-physical dimensions, your dog discovers something remarkable about its new state of being. Thought and presence have become the same thing. Where once it needed a physical body to move through space, now consciousness itself is the vehicle. To be somewhere, it needs only to think of that place. To connect with someone, it needs only to focus attention on them. And where does your dog's attention naturally turn in these first days? To you, to the human with whom it shared its life, its love, its daily existence, the being it protected, played with, comforted, and trusted. That connection, forged through countless moments of mutual care, remains the strongest pull on its consciousness. This is why so many people report sensing their dog's presence most strongly in the days immediately after death. Your dog is literally there, not in physical form but in conscious presence. It lies in its favorite spot on the couch. It follows you from room to room. It sleeps beside your bed at night. Not because it's trapped or confused, but because love draws it back. And in its expanded state, it now has the freedom to follow that love without physical limitations. But here is where light and shadow meet, where the beauty of continued connection confronts the reality of grief. Your dog, now sensitive to energies rather than just physical expressions, feels your emotions with extraordinary clarity. Your grief reaches it as palpable waves, heavy, dark, constricting. Your love arrives as brilliant light, your longing as a gentle pull. And faced with your pain, your dog responds just as it always did in life. It tries to comfort you. It sends waves of reassurance, of peace, of the simple joy it now experiences. It tries to show you in whatever way it can that it still exists, that it still loves you, that all is well. But the veil between worlds, though permeable, still filters these communications. Some people receive them as intuitive knowings, sudden feelings of peace or dreams so vivid they transcend ordinary experience. Others sense physical manifestations, the weight of a dog jumping on the bed, the sound of familiar movements, even glimpses caught from the corner of the eye. If this content is opening your mind to new possibilities, please subscribe now to our channel so you don't miss the next chapters of this journey. Beneath the surface of your dog's newfound freedom, behind the joyous reunions and the continued connection with you, a profound process begins in the spiritual realm, one of deep, transformative healing that addresses wounds far beyond the physical. Every soul carries imprints from its life experiences. For dogs, these imprints may include memories of abandonment before finding your home, traces of abuse from previous caretakers, fear from traumatic experiences, or even the accumulated stress of protecting your family. The physical body may have healed from these wounds during life, but the energetic and emotional imprints remain stored in consciousness itself. In the spiritual dimensions, these imprints become visible, not as scars on a physical body, but as patterns in your dog's energetic field, areas of constriction, shadows amid the light, disharmony within the otherwise flowing field of consciousness. And it is these deeper wounds that now receive attention from the guardians and guides who welcomed your dog home. The healing begins with immersion in what mystics have described as the light, not mere illumination, but living consciousness itself, the fundamental creative energy from which all things emerge. This light permeates the spiritual realms, but dogs, with their natural openness and lack of resistance, absorb it with particular ease. Imagine your dog's consciousness as a vessel filled with water. During life, that water became colored by experience, some experiences adding clarity and brightness, others introducing murky hues. Now, pure light pours into the vessel, gradually transforming the water until it becomes light itself, not by erasing the experiences that shaped it, but by transmuting their effects from limitation to wisdom. The animal guardians and evolved human souls assist in this process through what can only be described as spiritual alchemy. Without words, through pure transmission of consciousness, they help your dog understand the purpose behind its experiences, the abandonment that led it to your door, the illness that taught it trust and surrender, even the final passage that reunited it with the wider spiritual family while maintaining its bond with you. This understanding isn't intellectual. It's a direct knowing that permeates every aspect of consciousness. And as understanding dawns, healing follows naturally. The shadows dissolve not because they're suppressed or denied, but because they're fully integrated into a larger pattern of meaning and growth. For dogs who suffered physical pain or limitation, the arthritic joints that made movement difficult, the failing organs that caused discomfort, the senses that diminished with age, healing brings particular joy. The memory of physical constraint dissolves, replaced by the exhilarating freedom of movement without limitation. The dog who could barely walk in its final months suddenly experiences the ecstasy of running without effort. The dog whose vision failed now perceives with perfect clarity across multiple dimensions. But perhaps the most profound healing occurs in the emotional body. The anxieties that may have followed your dog throughout life, separation anxiety, fear of loud noises, wariness of certain people or situations, these dissolve in the direct experience of absolute safety, of being completely known and unconditionally accepted. The dog discovers that it was always safe, always held in a larger field of consciousness, even during the most challenging moments of physical life. If you're finding value in this journey into the mysteries of consciousness, please like this video right now. It truly helps spread this message to others who might need it. Now let's bring this cosmic understanding directly into your daily reality. The relationship between you and your dog after its physical death isn't merely a spiritual concept. It's a practical, experienced reality with tangible effects in your life. When you sit quietly with photos of your departed companion, when you speak their name aloud, when you visit their favorite places or dream of them at night, you are not simply remembering. You are actively participating in a two-way communication across the veil between worlds. The grief you feel creates an energetic signature that your dog perceives instantly, no matter where it is in its spiritual journey. Not as a concept, but as a felt reality, a call that draws its attention immediately back to you, and in that moment of connection, it responds with its own energetic transmission, one of peace, reassurance, and continued presence. This isn't wishful thinking or mere psychological comfort. It is the direct experience reported consistently by thousands of people across cultures, backgrounds, and belief systems. The specific details vary, but the essential pattern remains remarkably consistent. In the depths of grief, a sudden, inexplicable sense of peace. In moments of remembrance, a palpable feeling of presence. In dreams, vivid encounters that transcend ordinary dream states in their clarity and emotional impact. These experiences aren't hallucinations born of grief. They are genuine encounters across dimensions. Your consciousness and your dog's consciousness meeting in the space where love has created a permanent bridge. This understanding transforms how we experience the loss of our animal companions. Grief remains. The physical absence is real and painful, but it's no longer the whole story. Alongside the grief can exist the comfort of knowing the connection continues. The pain of separation is tempered by the certainty of ongoing relationship, different in form but undiminished in essence. The most powerful bridge between you and your dog exists in the quiet moments, when external noise fades, when your mind settles, when you open yourself to the possibility of connection beyond physical presence. In meditation or prayer, in the moments before sleep or upon first waking, in quiet walks in nature. These are the times when the veil thins most easily. And in these moments something remarkable happens. The language barrier that existed during physical life dissolves. Communication no longer depends on words or gestures, but flows directly from consciousness to consciousness. Understanding deepens. The essential love that always existed beneath the day-to-day interactions now reveals itself in its pure form, boundless, unconditional, and eternal. We now stand at a critical juncture in our journey, a place of choice that affects both your healing process and your dog's continuing evolution in the spiritual realms. The bond between you and your dog creates a powerful energetic connection that transcends physical death. This connection is beautiful and real, a testament to the love you shared and continue to share. But the nature of that connection, the way it manifests and evolves, depends largely on your understanding and response to it. Here lies the paradox and the challenge. Your grief, while natural and understandable, creates a gravitational pull on your dog's consciousness. The depth of your pain sends out energetic waves that your dog feels instantly, drawing it back to the threshold between worlds. It responds as it always did in life, with the desire to comfort, to ease your suffering, to be present for you in your moment of need. This creates a situation where some dogs choose to remain very close to the physical plane for extended periods, not because they're trapped or unable to progress, but because their love for you makes them unwilling to move forward while you remain in such pain. They choose to stay within easy reach, sending comfort, appearing in dreams, creating small signs of their presence to reassure you. This is neither right nor wrong. It's simply the reality of how consciousness and connection operate beyond physical constraints. But it presents you with a profound choice point, an opportunity to participate consciously in your dog's journey as well as your own. When you transform your grief into gratitude, when you celebrate the life shared rather than focusing solely on the pain of physical separation, you create a different energetic signature. This new vibration reaches your dog as light rather than heaviness, as freedom rather than constraint. It communicates more clearly than any words could that you recognize the eternal nature of your connection, that you understand separation is an illusion, that you release them to continue their journey while knowing the bond between you remains unbroken. This conscious release is perhaps the greatest final act of love you can offer your companion, not because it severs the connection, nothing can do that, but because it transforms the connection from one of painful longing to one of mutual freedom and ongoing growth. And you, what path would you choose? Would you hold your beloved companion close through the force of grief, or would you release them to their full potential with the certainty that the love between you can never be lost? Share your thoughts in the comments below. I truly want to know your perspective on this profound question. As we approach the culmination of our journey, a final powerful truth emerges from the mists of understanding, one that fundamentally reframes everything we thought we knew about life, death, and the relationships that define our existence. The connection between you and your dog was never merely a temporary arrangement of circumstance, two separate beings who happened to share space and time for a brief period. It was and remains a relationship between souls, between conscious entities whose paths crossed by design rather than accident, whose bond serves a purpose in the greater tapestry of existence. In the spiritual realms, your dog makes a profound discovery that transforms its understanding of the life you shared. It recognizes that the bond between you exists within a larger pattern, a weaving together of souls across multiple lifetimes and dimensions, connected by what mystics have called the golden thread of evolutionary purpose. Every moment of joy you experienced together, every challenge you helped each other navigate, every silent communication that passed between you without need for words. These weren't merely pleasant experiences or random events. They were exchanges of consciousness, opportunities for mutual growth, expressions of a love that exists beyond the constraints of form or time. Your dog discovers that it wasn't just a dog, and you weren't just a human. You were and are conscious beings on intertwining journeys, choosing to walk together for a portion of the path, each serving as teacher and student to the other in different ways. This revelation doesn't diminish the unique qualities of your relationship or reduce it to some abstract spiritual concept. Quite the opposite. It elevates what you shared to its true significance. A bond chosen by souls, not merely bodies. A connection that served the evolution of both your consciousness and your dog's. And here is where the final veil falls away, revealing the truth that changes everything. What we call death is merely a transition in form, not in essence. The consciousness that animated your dog's physical body continues its journey in expanded awareness. The love that flowed between you continues uninterrupted. The purpose that brought you together continues to unfold, even as your paths temporarily diverge. This understanding doesn't eliminate grief. The physical separation remains real and painful, but it transforms grief from an endless dark tunnel to a bridge between dimensions, a connection rather than a severing. It allows you to honor both the pain of physical absence and the reality of continued spiritual presence, to acknowledge what has been lost while celebrating what can never be taken away. Please share this video with someone who needs to hear this message right now. The understanding that death is transformation rather than ending has the power to heal hearts and illuminate paths through the darkest grief. We've traveled far together through the landscapes of understanding, from the initial moment of transition, through reunion and healing, across the bridges of continued connection, to the recognition of eternal bonds that transcend physical existence. Now we arrive at the place where all paths converge, where separate journeys reveal themselves as part of a single, magnificent unfolding. The truth that mystics, spiritual teachers, and now even frontier scientists have glimpsed is this: consciousness is not produced by the brain, but merely channeled through it. It exists before birth and continues after death. It takes form for the purpose of experience, then returns to its source enriched by what it has lived, loved, and learned. Your dog's consciousness continues its journey in the spiritual dimensions, healing, growing, expanding in ways that physical existence couldn't contain. And your consciousness continues its journey here, changed forever by the love you shared, carrying the imprint of your companion in the very fabric of your being. But these seemingly separate paths are united by a profound cosmic principle. Love creates connections that transcend dimensional boundaries. The love between you and your dog didn't end with its final breath. It didn't diminish with physical separation. It continues as a living bridge between worlds, a golden thread that can never be severed. And someday, beyond time as we understand it, that thread will draw you together again, not necessarily in the same forms or roles, but in recognition of the essential connection that exists between your souls. The reunion will feel like coming home, like recognizing a truth you've always known beneath the amnesia of physical existence. Until that day, know this with absolute certainty. The bond you shared was real. The love continues undiminished. And in the quiet moments when you feel a presence beside you, hear the echo of familiar movement, or sense a comfort that defies explanation, trust it. Your dog is saying, "I am here, I am well, and I still love you." If you've followed this journey to its conclusion, please subscribe to our channel, leave your like and share in the comments what resonated most deeply with you. Your story matters, and your experience is part of the greater awakening to the truth of who we really are.